Started yesterday and I'm cutting down. What's going on, guys? Thanks so much for watching my transformation video. And this is going to be kind of the part of the video where I go into exactly how I did it. And this video is really going to be aimed for the people who have been trying to take off the weight and just haven't been able to do it. And I feel like failures because of it, and they feel like it's their fault and it's their willpower that can't get them this. And I'm an average guy, guys. I'm a junior in college. I'm not a D1 athlete. I'm not a scholar by any means. I'm just like you guys. I mean, I'm not anything that special per se, but I'm just a normal guy who figured out exactly how to make this happen after years and years of failure. So I'm gonna go into some of the main details of how I was able to do it. Okay, so the first thing I wanna talk about as far as how I did it is gonna be diet. So when it comes down to diet, the only numerical term I wanna mention is being in a calorie deficit. You've got a point where you're gonna maintain, you've got a point where you're gonna put on weight, and you've got a point where you're gonna lose weight if you're under that maintenance level. Okay, it's that simple. I'm not gonna go into any other numbers. I'm not gonna talk about macros. We're trying to keep it realistic and tangible here, okay? So we're not gonna talk about numbers here. You've gotta be in a deficit, it's that simple. So be it a large or small, you're gonna be taking off weight. It just might be faster or slower. If you do an aggressive deficit, you're gonna lose fat a bit quicker. Granted, it's more difficult. You got to be able to sustain it. Remember that. You're not going to be able to stick to something that you're not able to sustain. So you got to eat what you enjoy. I ate what I liked the entire time I was losing weight. When I was chronic dieting, I was eating things that I didn't like, and that was a lot of the reason why I would binge. So I had to learn quickly that you've got to eat what you enjoy, eat it in moderation, and eat it intuitively. If you want to save your calories for later in the day, that's fine. You can do intermittent fasting or whatever that is. I'm not going to go into any specifics as far as dieting. I don't want to talk about the word diet. Diets don't work, okay, guys? Diets set you up for failure. Diets set you up for eating disorders. When we talk about cheat days and cheat meals, that's just a socially acceptable way of saying binging. I'm not going to support that. You shouldn't need cheat meals. If your friends are having pizza, have a slice of pizza. I mean, it's okay. It's okay to have pizza. It's okay to have cookies. Have a bite of a damn cookie. Like, it's okay. But you've got to remember that your lifestyle, you've got to go right back to what you're doing. And by choice, have the choice and say like, okay, I could have this, but it's more important to me to do this. It's not worth the way I'm gonna feel. It's not worth the negative effect that it's gonna have on my body. It's not worth it for me. Make sure you're in a deficit, and it's easy to do on MyFitnessPal or something like that. That's what worked for me. Eat what you like, make sure you're in a deficit, and make sure it's tangible and sustainable. The next point I'm gonna touch on is gonna be exercise. So for me, almost all of my exercise consisted of cardio. For me, I was just so focused on weight loss that I didn't really care about weightlifting. For me and for a lot of other people, I think focusing on one goal at a time is extremely powerful. So to this day. Like, have I gotten back into weightlifting since then? Absolutely. But during that time, I was strictly doing cardio and circuit training, and I was focused on keeping reps high if I was weightlifting, and I was mainly focusing on cardio. And the thing about cardio is you've got to make sure that you are doing a cardio source that you enjoy. For me, I love swimming and I love Stairmaster. So I had to make sure that I was doing one of those things. I hate running, so I'm not going to run, and I don't like a lot of other cardio sources, and that's okay. And if you don't like running, don't run. Don't make cardio a punishment. Make cardio something you enjoy. Put on a great album when you're doing cardio. Watch your favorite show. Figure out something that's not going to be a punishment for you, but make cardio your friend if you're trying to lose weight, because it's so helpful, not just physically, but mentally, and opening your mind in so many ways. My personal cardio regimen to this day consists of at least 45 minutes of Stairmaster or swimming or circuit training or something every day. That's what works for me. That's what keeps me lean. That's what keeps me happy, and it keeps my head in the right place. All right, guys, to end this video, I want to touch on the points that I want to make that differentiated this successful weight loss transformation versus all of the past 4 or 5 years that I've been trying to lose weight, but I've only been unsuccessful. Point number 1 is, what is your why? And it seems really simple, and it is, but it's so drastically important that you establish what's pulling you to want to lose the weight. Why do you want to do it? Once you can establish why you're doing what you're doing, and if that's important enough to you, and you've got to find something that is that important to you, but you will always be willing to get up at 5:30 or do whatever it takes in order to achieve what you want, because once you establish your why, you've got a reason, baby. Point number 2 is going to be set small goals. This is so drastically important because setting small goals is what keeps you focused. In many ways, it was established with my why. The reason I wasn't going out with my friends at all the entire summer that I was home was because my why was, okay, I will be at 245. I will be at 235. I will meet these goals. And that was a big why for me. And then everybody has their own personal whys, but setting small goals set me up for success because it held me accountable, and it had something in reach. I could reach that. When I was 250, I couldn't reach 190 immediately, but now granted, I got there and it was far in the future, but all along the way, I was just getting constant wins because I kept accomplishing the goals that I had set, which were the short-term goals. So it was just win after win after win. So eventually I won the war, but I was winning battles all along the way. Point number 3 is going to be trust the process. So once you develop exactly what you want to be eating, your exercise routine, and making sure that it's all tangible and realistic, then it's just a matter of making sure you're in a deficit and making sure that you're doing everything right, and that just trusting that process will work is so huge, because how are you going to stick to something that you're not totally sure is going to work? You've got to trust the process here. The 4th point I want to make is that this is not a diet, but it's a lifestyle change. This is something that it's not a short-term effect. This is going to be a long-term effect. We're talking habitual long-term effects here. We're trying to build new great habits, and you've got to enjoy yourself. You've got to make sure it's something that you can enjoy so you can make it a habit. You've got to do cardio sources that you don't mind, that you like to do. You've got to eat the foods that you enjoy and are healthy, but you like them. This is drastically important. The 5th point I want to make is going to be no black and white thinking. Black and white thinking is the killer of hopes and dreams in a lot of ways, because you're either all in or you're all out. And let me tell you something. This is not perfection. You should not seek perfection with this plan. There is no such thing when it comes to most things in life, but when it comes to a fitness plan, you can't be seeking perfection here. You just can't. So you've got to make sure that you're doing what you enjoy. That's why this is going to be sustainable. You've got to make yourself able to have breaks. If all of your boys want to go out and have some beers, have some freaking beers. I mean, it's all right, but make sure that you're on your grind the next day. And maybe if you wanted to be at 235 that Friday, you really wouldn't partake in it anyway. All right, that's going to wrap up this video, guys. So thank you so much for watching, and definitely smash that like and subscribe button and share with your friends if you ended up getting something out of this. And I'm going to be having more content coming up on my channel. So until then, keep grinding.